Guys, check this out, 4.4 amps of electricity at 240 volts coming directly from that solar array that I'm going to show you momentarily, straight into this 240 volt water pump. I've just literally cut the power consumption of this in half from the grid, and this setup could even work to completely offset the power. This is perfect for anyone that runs like a pool pump for extended periods of time, especially during sunlight hours, and anyone who has like irrigation pumps that run for extended periods of time as well. Let me show you how I've converted this to run off of solar power. And guys, stick around to the end. I've got a bonus super epic tip for anyone that uses a pump for irrigation like I do. You're not going to want to miss this. And be sure you're subscribed, guys, because coming up very soon, I've got a video where I'm going to actually offset the power consumption of an electric water heater using similar principles with the solar setup, so you're not going to want to miss that. Guys, before I get into this, let me just issue a disclaimer here. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not attempt what you're about to see yourself without consulting your local area and getting a professional electrician to assist you. We're working with high voltage DC and AC power, and that can cause severe injury or even death, not to mention potential property damage. To use what appears to be a disorganized mess here, there's actually rhyme and reason to all of the pipes and everything going on in here. So it's not messy on purpose. All right, we've got the pump running. Let's take an amp reading pre-solar. If you look here, I've got these wires disconnected, which are going to the solar. So we don't have any solar power hooked up at this point. All right, let's just clamp these wires here. 11.3-ish, 11.4, and the black leg, 11.2. So that's without any solar whatsoever. All right, so now we're going to hook up the solar power right over there. I'll just quickly show you how this is wired up. I've opened this box up and modified my wiring in my service disconnect here just so I can show you this easily. What I've done here is I've gotten these Wago connectors. By the way, if you haven't used a Wago, you are missing out. I'll leave links to them down in the description, as well as the video I made specifically about them. They're fantastic. But if you notice, they're these little lever things right here. This is a 3-port, so I am able to join 3 wires incredibly easy. So right now I've got a grid power coming in, and then the load going to the pump coming out. So what we're going to do is just simply add the solar to it, and you just literally stick the wire in, and then you just flip this tab down, and now that wire is not coming out, and it's hooked together with the other stuff. Let's do the same thing with the white wire here, and I'm trying to do this one-handed. The breaker is shut off, by the way, so we don't have any risk at all of power coming back. And then I've also tied the grounds together right back here so that the system is grounded. Following this wire out, we come to this box. It's got a little weatherproof cover on it because I use this for other things, but for now I've modified this for this test. But I've got this inline breaker, and this just helps protect the solar cabling. For my particular application, I've just got a 20 amp inline breaker. You can see I've wired this temporarily. I actually have a wire that comes down here. If you've seen my solar power air conditioning show, you'll know why I have that there. And I'll leave a link to that video down in the description as well. You need to check out connecting the same solar system to my full-size air conditioner. Offset the power just like I'm going to do with this pump. So anyway, this wire comes out and transitions to the Hoymiles trunk cable, and it comes right over here, and you can see it comes and connects to our Hoymiles microinverter. Notice the light is flashing red right now, and that is simply because it does not see grid power at this point, so it is not producing any power whatsoever. This Hoymiles microinverter has 4 ports, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 individual inputs on that, and each of those are going to the 4 individual solar panels that I have right here. All right, so prior to energizing any of this stuff, I am going to actually go ahead and turn this breaker on. Nothing's going to happen at this point because there's still no grid power here. That inverter needs to see the grid in order to function. So let's fire the pump back up and let's see what kind of difference we can make to the power consumption. All right, we were booted up, and obviously that the solar is connected. I'm going to hook this up. You'll see that there's hardly any change at all in our amps at the moment, and that's just because it takes about 4 to 5 minutes for that inverter to see the grid, synchronize, and start producing power. So if we come over here, you'll see that we're still flashing red, and that's simply because this is needing to synchronize to the grid. So we're going to give this 4 or 5 minutes. Once this is flashing green, then we know we're into production. It is very bright out here. I don't know if you can see, but this microinverter is now flashing green. So it is officially producing power off these solar panels. Let's go see what our amp reading is on this pump. Oh guys, check it out. 6.9 7.0 down from 11.3. Oh yeah. All right, now let's clamp the incoming solar and just see what that's producing. 4.2 amps of solar power. That's awesome. And once again, we're sitting pretty at just about 7 amps is all coming from the grid. And I don't even have this set up properly. I've just kind of haphazardly thrown these panels out. They're not angled correctly. In fact, you can see the shadow over here is kind of elongated. You can see this panel here has a bunch of dirt on the side that should be cleaned off. And on top of that, I don't know if the camera's gonna show it. Yeah, you can see it. We've got a lot of wildfire smoke in the air right now. The entire state is on fire, it seems like. So anyway, the sun isn't as great, and it's quite hot today. It hasn't quite hit the 90s yet, but it's in the 80s. Direct sunlight, that hurts production on solar panels. The cooler it is, the better they perform. Still, over 4 amps at 240 volts, that is gonna make a tremendous difference on the power bill for anyone that has a pump, especially a pool pump, that runs for extended periods of time during sunny times of the day. Also work exceptionally well for someone like me that has an irrigation pump that runs for multiple hours every day. So as long as you size this so that it didn't produce more than the pump consumes, you'll never run the risk of backfeeding to the grid. I'm going to leave some links down below to a fantastic resource for you to purchase big residential solar panels. These are 370 watt bifacial solar panels. And if you live around Utah or in Utah, you can save a ton of money on shipping, picking these up directly, but you can also have them shipped to you as well. And then the other awesome thing that's completely optional, but makes deploying a ground array so easy. Notice these little legs right here. And let's walk around the back. So this is the back side, and we've got these taller legs. Notice that they have full adjustability. They telescope up and down, and so you have a lot of adjustability. Now, I've deployed these temporarily here to show you this test, but they come with heavy-duty guy lines, so you can stake them down just to protect against wind and further movement. So if you have them in a semi-permanent position, you are able to secure them down to the ground. These are from Powered Portable Solar. I'll leave a link to them down in the description, as well as a link to my full review on them, so you can check them out further. But I absolutely love them. Yeah, you really can't beat seeing those numbers. Makes me happy. I've got a bonus piece of information for anyone that uses a pump to irrigate, so be sure and stick around. But before I do that, please leave your comments down below on what you think of this setup. I think this is a perfect application for this, because if you've got sun shining when your pump is running, why not take advantage? I've got links for all of this stuff down in the description. It's shockingly inexpensive. There's a lot of variables, obviously, for payback period, but I think you'd be surprised how quickly something like this could pay itself back when it's offsetting a heavy consumer like your pool pump and saving all that money in power bills. This video is 100% not sponsored. It's just me experimenting and showing you something cool. Please like the video, subscribe, comment, and share. 4 100% free things for you to do, but it really benefits the channel, and that will help increase my motivation and desire to continue with these videos for you. Here comes the bonus. Okay, the bonus tidbit of information I have is this device right here. This stainless steel device, in conjunction with these other components, is a self-cleaning automatic filter from Force to Filters. Because I pull my irrigation water from this canal that runs behind my house, it is full of all kinds of junk and debris and nastiness. And so this filter helps me take care of that. This gauge right here is a pressure differential gauge, and you can see it's headed up into the red. When that gets into the red, you're going to see this valve right here open. There it goes. So what just happened is this valve opened, it sends water through here out of this top chamber, and that basically creates a vacuum, and there's these little nozzles inside the lower part of this filter that spin around and suck the inside of the filter screen off, and it removes all of the debris and junk through this line right here. It allows my irrigation system to continue functioning without stopping, even during that backwash sequence. And it's all controlled automatically, as you saw. It's based on pressure differential between the inlet and the outlet, and so I don't have to worry about a thing. In fact, this whole system is operated by my sprinkler controller. I do have this video surveillance camera right here so that I can monitor and make sure that this is functioning correctly. But yeah, this drops everything out of the water down to 100 micron, which allows even my micro irrigation spray heads, standard spray heads, etc. to function without getting clogged by debris and sediment. I don't get any weed seeds or anything. So anyway, it's a little bit of an investment, but well worth the investment for some automation and time that you would otherwise spend cleaning all your filters manually. I'll leave contact information for them down below. Let them know that There's a Trick for That sent you, and they'll take good care of you.